Okay, so today's Energizing Hatha, we're going to work a little bit on the hips. And if you want to come and lie down to begin with on your back. So legs can be straight or bent. Bring those shoulder blades down the back. And start to tune into your breath. Feeling that flow of air coming down into the lungs. Feeling the ribs and the belly swelling outwards as you're inhaling. And as you exhale, see if you can get that feeling of just softening. Allowing the muscles to relax as you breathe out. Let's take 3 more smooth breaths here. Keeping your whole focus on the breath. And then straightening your legs if they're bent, with your arms by your sides. And as you inhale, reach the arms back to the floor behind you and stretch into the heels of the feet, toes pointing to the ceiling. And on your out breath, let's bring the arms back by the sides. Let's do that again. So inhaling, full body stretch. Exhale back down. And again, this time we'll hold the stretch. But don't hold your breath, keep breathing, stretching into those heels. And then lower your arms, relax your legs. And we'll bend the knees and bring the knees in towards the chest, a hand on each knee. And start to circle your knees, circling both knees. So 2 circles, 1 with each knee. Tuning into how that feels around your hips, around your lower back. And then next time you bring those knees in, change direction and circle the opposite way. Next time you bring those knees in, let's pause here and bring your head up towards your knees. Lower the head down, bring the feet to the floor, keep your knees bent. And as you inhale, reach the arms back behind your head again and separate your knees, bringing them down towards the floor. Exhale, knees together, arms back down. Let's do that again. Inhale, arms up, knees wide. Exhale, back to the start. And twice more. Once you've brought your arms down, let's cross the left ankle onto the right shin, or right thigh rather, and then push that left thigh away with your hand. So you start to feel that in the left hip. Now you can stay like this, or bring your right foot off the floor, bringing the legs towards you, and hug your right thigh with both your hands, but keep moving the left knee away from you. So doing eye of the needle. Pause here, keep breathing into that hip stretch. Now release your legs. And let's do the opposite side. So right ankle over left thigh. Just gently push that right thigh away from you with your right hand. Now you can either stay like this or hug your left thigh in as you keep moving your right knee away. Try and soften around that right hip. And then release. Hug both knees in towards the chest, little rock. Maybe just rotate those knees again. And then let's rock ourselves up to a hands and knees position. And start to rotate the pelvis, bringing the hips down to the heels, over to the left, to the right and down. Next time they come to the heels, change direction and rotate the opposite way. Then bringing your shoulders above your wrists, let's take some cats. So start moving from the tailbone, inhaling, looking up, exhale, arch the back, head down. Now, bringing your back into a neutral position. As you take your next in-breath, let's move the right leg back and look forward. So you can stretch this leg up quite high. Pause here. And then as you breathe out, bring the knee and the head towards each other. So inhaling, stretch out, look forwards. Exhale, moving in. And one more time. Then you can lower that knee. And let's do the opposite side. So extend that right leg, left leg behind. Exhale, curl in. And again. One more time. And then place the leg on the floor. Let's tuck the toes under and lift the hips up. So walk out the legs at this stage, warming up those hamstrings. Push into your finger pads. And then we'll lower the knees back down to a cat. Just take a couple more cat tilts. Then tucking those toes, moving back up to a downward facing dog. Push those hips up and back, maybe have a bend in the knees. And then let's walk the feet to the hands. And bring your arms out to the side to a flat back and come up all the way and reach your arms overhead. Bringing the hands down to the heart. And then from here, let's widen the feet slightly, taking tramline feet, and we'll step the right foot back for a warrior one. So hands on hips, let's get really grounded down through the legs. Push into that back heel and reach your arms upwards. Look up at the ceiling or look straight ahead. And then we'll bring the arms out wide and down. Inhaling them up, exhale them out wide and down. And again. Bring the hands to the hips. Let's straighten the front leg, reach the crown of the head upwards, and as you exhale, come forwards and down. Inhaling back up. Let's bend that front leg, step the right leg forwards, and we'll do our warrior one the opposite side. So get anchored down through your legs. Reach your arms upwards, push strongly into your feet, really activate those leg muscles. And as you exhale, bring the arms out wide and down. Inhaling them up. Exhale out wide and down. One more time. And then bring the hands onto the hips. We'll straighten the front leg. Reach the crown of the head upwards, and as you exhale, come forwards and down halfway. Inhaling back up. And one more time. Now bend that front leg, let's step forwards, back to a mountain pose, bring your hands to your heart and we'll take a half salute. So reach your arms up. As you breathe out, let's dive forwards and down with bent knees into a forward bend. Hands on front of the shins, lift up halfway. Now bend the knees and bring your hands to the floor, and we'll step the right leg back into a runner position. Pause here, and then twist to the left and raise your left arm. Lower the left hand down. Let's bring the right knee to the floor, hands on hips, and sink forwards into the hips, getting that stretch on the front of the right hip. Pull the belly in and reach your arms up. Look up at the ceiling. So really reach up through the ribs as well and try and pull some of the weight upwards out of that back knee. Draw the navel inwards and then twist around to your right and bring your arms parallel to the ground. Inhale, come back to the front. Let's bring the hands down to the floor. Tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee up, and we'll step back to a downward facing dog. Walk out those legs a moment, pushing those hips up and back. Step, jump, or walk your feet to your hands. And bring your hands back on the front of the shins and lift up halfway for half tabletop. Line at the back of the neck with the spine. Bend your knees, bring your hands to the floor, and we'll step the left foot back into a runner position. Pause here, and then twist to the right and raise your right arm. Lower the right hand to the floor. Lower the left knee to the floor. Bring your hands to your hips, and sink forwards into your hips, and raise your arms upwards. Look up at the ceiling. Breathe deep. Now bring your hands down to the heart, and we'll twist round to the left and bring the arms parallel to the ground. Come back to the front, hands to the floor, tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee up. Let's step back to a downward facing dog, pushing the hips up and back. Maybe walk out those legs again. Now walk the hands towards the feet. Bring your arms out to your sides to a flat back and come up all the way and reach your arms up overhead, stretch up to the ceiling, bringing the hands to the heart. We'll bring the feet together and step your left foot forward, for a warrior two. So bend your left knee. Really stretch out into the fingertips. Turn that front palm, inhale, come up to reverse warrior. Exhale, warrior two, and again. Twice more. Now from here, let's straighten the front leg and turn round to the long side of the mat. And we'll turn the feet so the toes point outwards. Maybe bring the feet slightly closer in towards each other, hands on hips, and let's tuck the tailbone and bend the knees for a goddess. Let's straighten the legs. Let's do that again. And one more time. Now, turn your right foot to face the opposite end of the mat. Let's do our warrior two this side. So bend that right knee, raise your arms up. Turn the front palm, inhale, come up to reverse warrior. Exhale, warrior two, and again. Twice more. Now turn back to face the long side of the mat. And this time we'll go for a twist, bringing the left hand on the right leg. Untwist, come back up. Twist the opposite way. Untwist, come back up. And then bring your hands behind you and interlink the fingers, pull the shoulder blades towards each other. And as you breathe out, come forwards and down into a wide leg forward bend. Let that head release down towards the floor. Maybe a gentle nod and shake of the head. Inhaling, come back up. Separate your hands. Let's step back to the front of the mat. And then from here, bring the feet together and we'll step the right foot back for triangle pose. Line up your heels. Raise your arms. Reach forwards and down into a triangle. Opening the heart out to the right side. So really extend out through those arms, pushing strongly into your feet. Breathe deep. Now push into the feet and hinge upwards. Let's lower the arms, step back to the front of the mat, and we'll do our triangle the opposite way. I'm just going to swivel round. So line up your heels, reach your arms out and down for triangle pose. So feel like you're expanding out from your center of gravity around your navel, radiating out in all directions. On an inhalation, hinge back up. Lower the arms. Let's step back to the front of the mat. Maybe give your arms and legs a little shake out. And then from here, let's do a balance. So we're going to do, it's a standing pigeon pose. So we start by standing on the left foot. And if you can bring your right leg up and cross your ankle over your left thigh. Keep this foot flexed and bring your hands to the heart. So you can stay like this or start to lower the hips. So you should feel quite a strong sensation around this right hip. So it's basically a standing version of the eye of the needle that we did just now. Let's straighten the leg, lower that right leg, and give the legs a little shake out. And we'll do the opposite side. So start in a mountain, put your weight into your right foot, cross the left ankle over the right thigh, and bring the hands to the heart. Pause here. So you can stay like this, working on balance and stability. If you feel nice and strong and stable, start to bend the knee and lower the hips, but move slow. Wonderful. And then we'll release. Give those arms and legs a little shake out. Let's come back to the front of the mat. Bring your hands to your heart, and as you inhale, reach up high. On your out breath, let's dive forwards and down into a forward bend. Hands on front of the shins, lift up halfway. Now bending your knees, bring your hands to the floor, and we'll step that right leg back for a runner position. And then twist to the left and raise your left arm. Bring your left hand down. Now, firm up your core muscles here, your belly, your thighs. You might even want to bring that back foot forwards very slightly. We're going to come up into a high lunge. So bringing your hands onto your hips, come upright, and then raise your arms upwards. Really reach up through your ribs, through your arms. Look up at the ceiling. You want to feel quite a stretch on the front of that right hip. Hold and breathe deep. Now bring your hands to your heart. Let's extend forwards over that front leg. Get a really lovely long spine. And then we'll twist to the left and bring the right elbow on that front thigh. Pause here. Untwist, come back to the front and raise the arms back up again. And we'll go for a double lunge. So quite a leg strengthener, this one. So lower your back knee. So your thigh is vertical and you just hover the knee above the floor and then straighten. Let's do 3 more. And then lower your arms, step to the front of the mat. Then give the legs a little shake out before we do that sequence the opposite way. So Hands to the heart. Inhale, reach up high. As you exhale, let's dive forwards and down with bent knees. Inhale up halfway to half tabletop, placing the weight in the heels, straightening the legs. Now bend your knees and bring your hands to the floor, and we'll step the left foot back into a runner. Make sure your hands are either side of that front foot and underneath your shoulders, and then raise your right arm. Lower the right hand down. We're going to come into a high lunge, so engage your core and come up. And then reach your arms upwards. Lengthening up through the ribs. Look up at the ceiling or look straight ahead. Then bring your hands to your heart and keep a really long spine and extend forwards from the hips. Line up the back of the neck with the spine, use your core. Twist to the right. So you're looking to the right, breathe deep. Untwist, come back to the front. Let's lift the arms back up overhead. We're going to do 4 double lunges. So slowly lower the knee. And then straighten. Then bringing the hands to the heart, we'll step forwards. So give those legs a little shake out. And let's turn to face the long side of the mat and take a really wide stance. Toes are pointing straight ahead. Let's bring the hands behind the back, interlock the fingers, pull the shoulder blades towards each other, and as you breathe out, come forwards and down. Let your head sink down towards the floor. Maybe a gentle nod and shake of the head. 3 deep breaths here. Softening on your exhalation. Now let's come up on an inhale. Make sure you've engaged the belly in. Release your arms, step back to the front of the mat. And with your arms by your sides, let's take a deep breath in. Actually, what we'll do is we'll come down into a squat. So if you take your feet as wide as your mat, circle your, or point your toes outwards, and we'll bring the arms in front. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, start to lower your hips to the floor. Keep the knees wide, and then you can bring your arms on the inside. Let's pause here a moment in our Malasana pose. And then tip forwards and bring your hands to the floor and move back into hands and knees. And from here, we'll take a brief lizard. So bring your right foot to the right side of the mat and sink forwards into your hips with both hands on the inside of that leg. Pause here. Try and soften as you breathe out. Now move your hips back, move your hands back, and then we'll bring that leg in. And let's do the opposite side. So moving your hands more towards the right, bring your left foot towards the left side of the mat as you bring it forwards and sink into your hips. Softening as you breathe out. Now moving your hands and hips back, let's bring the leg in. We'll come and lie down on the floor, on your back. Hug the knees into the chest a moment. And curl your head up towards the knees. Lower the head, lower the feet, and we're going to move into a bridge. So we'll do a dynamic bridge first, moving the arms, and then we'll come into a static bridge. So get your feet in the right position, so your ankles are beneath your knees and your Feet and knees are hip width apart. Take a deep breath here. As you exhale, slowly lift just the hips up. Then inhale your arms back to the floor behind you. Now exhale, lower the arms back by your sides. And on an inhalation, lower the spine and the hips to the floor. Let's do that again. So take a deep breath in. Exhaling, lift your hips up. Inhale, lift the arms back to the floor behind. Exhaling, lower the arms. And inhale, lower the spine. And again, on an exhalation, lift the hips up. Inhale your arms back. Exhale the arms back by your sides. And inhale, lower the hips. Now we're just going to raise the hips only. So bring the hips up as you breathe out. You can keep your arms here or interlink the hands underneath the back and pull the shoulder blades together. You want your arms straight and on the floor. Keep pushing strongly down through your big toe and heel to keep the hips lifted. So you want to feel your thigh muscles are working here and engage your belly in and engage your pelvic floor. So the buttock muscles aren't working too hard. They'll work a little bit, but it's the thighs and the stomach and the pelvic floor muscles that you want to be doing most of the work. Keep pushing strongly down into the feet as well, so the lower legs help. Now let's separate the hands and come slowly down with control. And let's hug the knees in towards the chest again, another little rock. Curl your head up towards your knees. Lower the head to the floor. Let's take the knees wide and bring your arms between your legs and hold onto your feet. So you can stay like this or come up into a happy baby. Keep pushing the hands and the feet into each other if you've got hold of the feet. Pushing your knees down towards the floor, feeling quite a strong hip opener here. Softening your hip muscles. Now release the feet. Hug your knees to your chest, another little rock. And with a hand on each knee, as you inhale, just move your knees away. On your out breath, pull them in. And again. 3 more times. Inhaling, move the knees out. Exhale in. And on the final one, as you bring those knees in, curl the head back up towards the knees again. Then lower the head to the floor, lower the feet to the floor. You can keep your knees bent or straighten your legs for Shavasana. So bring the shoulder blades down the back and lengthen the back of the neck, bringing the chin to the chest. Just move your arms slightly away from the body and turn the arms so the palms are facing upwards. Tune into your breath. So just take a moment to briefly scan through the body, noticing how you now feel, particularly around the hips. And let's take 3 energizing breaths. So breathing in through the nose. Filling up the lungs to about 3/4 full. Feeling the belly expand. And as you exhale, breathing all the air out of the lungs, feeling the belly soften. Now wriggle your fingers and toes. Let's bend the knees and roll to one side to come up to a seated position. So thanks for joining me. Hope you enjoyed that practice. Have a lovely day and see you later in the week. Bye.